What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 8, I believe this is, of a Disc Golf Podcast. I'm Philip, and this is Jeff.
What's going on, guys?
Sorry about the missing episode from last week. There was something that came up that kind of got in the way. So here we are, the next episode. You still got Jeff. I know you were kind of worried that you might not have got Jeff because he's got some really good insight, but we brought him back. We made sure he didn't miss one. We've got a lot of things going on. The Disc Golf Pro Tour is back. A lot of stuff going on in the local scene, and some stuff that we talk about here on a Disc Golf Podcast. Before we get into the local scene, I want to just dive right into what everybody's talking about right now, other than the Pro Tour stuff, which we'll get into in just a second. But if you watch disc golf content at all, you probably know who Brodie Smith is.
Yeah.
You know who Brodie Smith is, right?
Yeah.
Brodie Smith got in the game probably 4 or 5 years ago. I think it was 4 years ago, 2020. He started playing disc golf for the first time, was really involved with Paul McBeth. He owns a part of Foundation now. And on his podcast, he talked about what it sounded like to me was burnout, right? What he was describing, he kind of made it sound like that he's just not passionate about the game anymore. And, you know, he was like, the things I do, I'm passionate about. I'm already a millionaire, so I don't really have to do things for money anymore. I'm just do what I love. And so he was like, I was playing that tournament last week, and just wasn't feeling it, and he was kind of worried about it. Have you ever experienced burnout before? You've been playing it for a while.
Yeah, I mean, there's always those times where you're like, all right, I need a break.
Yeah.
You know, but that dude's got a lot of stuff going on besides disc golf. So
for sure.
And, you know, he's based out of Vegas.
Yeah, well, kind of. I think they spend half the time in Vegas and half the time in Dallas. Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's like, and it's not even that. It's like he's married, and I know his wife Kelsey does her thing, and it's like he wants to be a family man too, and a husband, and the dude's got a lot going on. Yeah. And if he doesn't, he's not relying on solely disc golf. Right. Obviously, he's got a successful YouTube channel, and you know, whatever other endeavors he's got going on. So yeah, I mean, it's understandable. It's understandable that he has. And this early in the season. Right. You know, maybe he had so busy of an off season he couldn't concentrate on disc golf yet. Who knows?
Yeah, he did talk about how he didn't do a whole lot of practicing in the off season. And man, let me just say, Facebook warriors, social media warriors really like to
they're quick to jump.
They just like to go in, man.
Yeah.
It's like they go in on Brodie and they're like, see, you didn't even really love it in the first place. This is the cash grab. If you were winning, you wouldn't be acting this way, and all this other stuff. And I do have I mean, if I'm being honest, this is a podcast. I'm going to just say my take. I do have a take. I think that Brodie really does jump on things that he feels like he likes to do and that he's passionate about. Don't get me wrong. But he had mentioned how he was playing ball golf before, and he was like starting to get kind of decent at the game. And it got to a point where he had to make a decision. He had to either go play overseas. I don't know exactly where he said, but it was like Asian, some Asian country or something, or like kind of end his career. Like he didn't get injured or anything, but it got to the point where he had to make a big life decision. And I guess, though he says he was passionate about golf, though he says he really loved it, he wasn't passionate enough to make that big of a jump.
So he was going to have to go to Asia to play golf.
But yes, in order to like continue progressing his career. Right. He wasn't good enough to make the PGA Tour. But if he would have taken this step, then he could have continued to progress and eventually make the PGA Tour kind of thing. Right. And so that's what he made it sound like. And so for me, that sounds like, yeah, sure, I like it. Yeah, sure, I was passionate about it, but I wasn't passionate enough
to make that jump.
To make the jump, yeah. And Ultimate, I think he would still be playing Ultimate if he could, but he got injured kind of thing. And so that one for sure, I think it got taken from him. I can say I haven't been playing disc golf nearly as long as you. You're old, but
thanks.
You're welcome. But yeah, I haven't been playing disc golf as long as you, and I can say that there are times, like seasons, sometimes it's months, sometimes it's like a week, where I just feel like done with the game. Like I'm going to take a break and not play anymore, specifically on my home course that I play like all the time.
Right. But you got to look at this too, is like how many other aspects of the game do you have your hands in? You got the store, now the podcast. Right. You know, you're trying to run a good line team.
Yeah.
You know, you're running tournaments.
For sure.
You're trying to play tournaments.
Yeah.
Not just yours, but elsewhere.
Right.
And then yet you still have to balance that family life
yeah,
too.
Absolutely.
So
for
it's,
sure.
you know, it's like, it's understandable to have those feelings like, I need a break.
Yeah.
You know.
Right. No, absolutely. I agree with you. I think that honestly, I think he just had a human moment on the podcast.
For sure.
And was just talking to his buddy and was being very open and honest, which is a good thing. Mm-hmm. But the internet can take that and ram it down your throat kind of thing.
Oh, for sure.
You know?
Yeah. It's just a matter of time before this one hits.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So we're going to say something. And man, people are going to jump down our throat about it. But yeah, so I know he's not listening to our podcast, but like if there was a buddy that came to me who had been playing for 4 years and had gotten really good really fast, like beating me at stuff kind of thing, and was like, man, I think I just don't love disc golf anymore, I would be like, how about, like, I get where you're coming from, and that could be the case, but let's take a break. Just don't play disc golf for a minute. Yeah. and then we'll come back. Let's just go play for fun. Right. Don't even worry about like the tournaments. Just go play. You know what I'm saying? Figure out if you just enjoy it.
And nobody knows the inside. Like, what did he do on the off season?
Right.
You know, was he still playing? Did he take his rest? Did he, you know, did he reset? You know, whatever. Maybe he just needs a longer off season.
Yeah.
You know, before he jumps into it. So.
And he talked about it. He's 36. He was talking about how he's kind of older and how, you know, there were some points last year where he just felt like he was doing it just to do it. Going to the tournaments just to do it, and instead of going to have fun and try to win. And he was talking about how he may turn his tour may end up being, instead of 20 events, may end up being 10 or 5 events, his favorite ones, picking and choosing here and there. And he can. I mean, he can do that. He won't be. I think I'm very impressed with how quick he was able to become an elite disc golfer. Don't get me wrong. He did have some background and all that other things, but he's at a point. He'll never be like Paul Ulibarri or Paul McBeth, where they're like goats, not goats, but they've just been around so long and so well liked and so adored that they'll have their hand. Paul Ulibarri will have his hand in discraft for the rest of his life, kind of thing. Like he talks about it. He's going to be sponsored by Discraft, whether it be some small thing or big thing. He'll always be one of their kind of dudes. I don't think Brodie has time to get to that point, and maybe he does. I mean, unless he wins a bunch of stuff.
You never know. I mean, you know, I'm sure he has ties with Discraft well before disc golf.
That's
anyway,
true.
So.
That's true.
Yeah,
and he's doing media stuff, and he owns part of Foundation Disc Golf. He'll have his hand in disc golf forever. I just don't.
No, that was me. I bumped it.
I don't know what. I just don't know what the future looks like for him. But I think that I don't think we're done seeing Brodie. People are talking about he's done. He's gone. I think that just like Brian Earhart, we'll see like a shift in kind of what he did. Brian Earhart was a big time player at one point, and then one year he was like, I'm just kind of done playing, and he switched to the media side.
Yeah,
and so we still see
commentary and all that, which I enjoy that too.
Me too. He does a great job.
He does really good.
All right, so let's keep plugging on here. You know, Brodie was talking about how he was not really feeling the chess.com invitational thing. He's just kind of not feeling it. But there was someone that really was. Anthony Barella, man. He's
starting off hot.
He is. He's starting the season hot. And his name has been a topic of conversation every week for the last month, kind of thing, when you think about it. The All-Star event, he went out there and threw 700 and some odd feet during the
that's unreal.
It's ridiculous. He went and won the distance competition. The next event he goes and wins, right? Chess.com. He wins the event and kind of got sketchy there at the end. He kind of turned into a little bit of like the old AB that we know.
Try to get greedy a little bit.
Right. Yeah. And gets the yips a little bit. Luckily he was like 4 or 5 strokes ahead. Yeah. And so he was able to kind of cruise out there at the end. And then this past week, he didn't win the Memorial, but if you ask someone who won the Memorial, they wouldn't know. They would definitely heard Anthony Barella shot over an 1100 rated round. Did you hear about that?
I saw it. Yeah, because I was down in Georgia playing that a B tier down there. Okay. And that was like the talk.
Right. You
know, they're like, "Did you see AB's round?" You know. So yeah, it's pretty amazing. But how many times do you think he's played that course? He lives in Arizona. So.
Right. Probably a lot, and I'm assuming he's played it quite a few times.
Mm-hmm.
And then that people were talking about how the rating systems work, and we're going to talk about that in just a minute, and how he was playing in a field that had people that are probably shooting 30 over, and then him who were shooting 17 down, since it's just an A tier, so it's not just the Pro Tour bubble.
I see, yeah.
And so people were talking about how because of that, his rating could have been inflated a little more. All that being said, 17
Still,
under is
17,
ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Go out and shoot 17.
You've done it.
And be proud of your rating.
Whatever happens.
Whatever it is.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think if you're talking about players that are trending up already this season, AB is trending in the right direction. And I'll give him this, too. AB's had this, like, persona where people don't necessarily, like, love his persona because he's so, like, kind of somber and, like, straight to business type feeling guy. And when he did the interview for chess.com and he got a little bit teary-eyed and he said all the losses are worth it now, I think that he endeared himself to some people who maybe thought, oh, this dude's a robot. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think he's done all the right things so far early in the season, like just a couple months, like a couple weeks in.
For sure. He's going to be one to watch this year for sure.
For sure.
I mean, he probably always was. And
right.
You know, then you know, like last year, the Isaac Robinson breaking out at Worlds type thing kind of just overshadows.
Right.
Because I think that's the story.
So that being said, I don't know how well you keep up with the Pro Tour, like in the players. Who do you feel like is heading maybe in the other direction? Like AB's trending up. Who do you feel like is trending down?
Already after
2
tournaments?
After 2 tournaments. Yeah.
It's too early to tell.
True that. I mean, I'm with you.
Way too early to tell. I caught a little bit of the Waco coverage today, and I'm not going to spoil nothing right now in case you haven't seen it. But
yeah,
I mean, everybody was shooting some good scores in the MPO field.
Yeah, I mean, I think agree. I think it's way too early to tell. But if I had to pick somebody, because there's only one place for him to go, it's Calvin Heimberg, because he shot pretty low at chess.com.
Yeah.
He didn't do too hot at chess.com. And then now he's not playing Waco. He's not playing a lot of the Texas swing stuff because he has a pre-existing elbow injury. So not that he's like, you know, I'm not I still think he's number one. I'm just saying there's only one place for him to go because last year he had like a career year.
Yeah, every tournament he was in like top 5.
Yes, his average it's ridiculous. He won so many tournaments. His average finish was like 2 or something like that.
It's hard to say right now if he would be trending downward.
There's only one place to go.
I know, but he can still be up there for sure. He'll compete week in and week out. So
yeah,
but there's no way.
So, and then what about on the ladies' side? Who do you feel like is like trending up on the ladies' side? It's hard to tell, but
trending up.
Yes.
I don't know because you know it's like all you ever hear is Kristen's at the top or fighting the leaderboard,
right?
Or, even now you got Owen Scoggins who's always up there,
dude.
Missy, it's the same names.
It is. It really is.
A lot of events, and then every now and then they'll have someone, just have a stellar tournament and then get up there in coverage and all that stuff like that. So, I don't know. It's way too early to tell who's going to have a good season, who's not,
Sure.
So
on my radar this year for good, you said her name, Owen Scoggins. She's always been good.
Oh yeah.
She's always hitting putts. Her little like 300-foot max distance shot does not matter. She's out there hitting putts like she's making it work. She's making it happen.
For sure.
And so she's doing that little forehand flex shot with overstable disc, and it's working, man.
And she is like a cool human.
Yeah, I do.
I got to follow her card at Music City Open last year, and like super down to earth and just super funny. She's having a good time doing it, and it's like, yeah, you're fun to watch. You play awesome. Obviously we wish them all the best of luck, but
right,
yeah, she'd be a good one to watch for sure, and she can go Masters.
Yeah, I know. She can win, she could win 2 world championships this year. Wouldn't that be crazy?
Right.
Yeah, I'm thinking her, and then I'm looking at the kind of results from day one on Waco, and I'm not going to say where people have landed, but Ella Hansen is also one that's kind of trending in the right direction. Her name's been on the kind of in the leaderboard for the last couple weeks, kind of thing.
I think hers more course dependent.
I agree with you there. We'll see though, because they're at she's a big arm. Mm-hmm. She throws far. And what course did they? I'm not going to talk about Waco too much, but
they played the Beast today.
Okay,
yeah,
gotcha. But yeah, so I agree. I think she and Holland Hanley are essentially in the same boat as far as course dependent, like mm-hmm. How they're going to do. But there's something about Holland when I watch her play that like and it maybe because she was like a college athlete, and I don't know if Ella was or not, but that
I think she was ultimate.
There's something about Holland that when I watch her play, I'm like, she clearly and obviously has been putting the work in and wants this. So,
right.
And Ella too, but just there's something that stands out about Holland to me when I watch her play, and it's for her to be so young in the sport, because she just popped off randomly at a tournament one time.
A couple years ago.
Yeah, I think Jen Allen was in the field, and she ended up beating Jen Allen, and people are like, who is this random lady? And now she's here on Discraft's elite team. But anyway, so I'm interested to watch to see how she does this year. And then I'm going to spoil this a little bit. Again, we talked about Anthony Barella, man. That dude is on the lead card again for Waco. I'm not going to say his score, but he's on the lead card again.
I mean, they can look up the scores if they wanted to. But yeah.
It's pretty cool.
And I watched that, and, like, I guess they had, like, an hour lightning delay today, too. Because, like, when I turned it on, they're like 3:55 card, and that was the feature card. I'm like, man, they're teeing off at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
I said, they're going to make it, before the sun goes down.
Yeah.
But then I guess, they had a lightning delay. But the wind that picked up was unreal.
Really?
And, like, the way those guys can just still throw far in a headwind with something, super beefy.
Yeah.
It's just dumb.
Yeah. The lead card is interesting for MPO. I'm not gonna say anything else, but it's a little different. Than
you got some of the names that, well, yeah, a name at the top that you don't see much of, but it'll be cool to have him on coverage.
Yeah, for sure.
He can be animated too.
Mm-hmm. It's a good little mix of dudes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm interested. I'll be able to watch a little bit of that tomorrow. I was not able to watch very much today. I've been real busy today, but now hopefully I can catch up on that tonight and then get there tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right. And I'm looking at the list for like who's trending down. I got to pick somebody. Man, it's hard for the ladies. It's hard to say. For me, this is a good one. I really think Valerie Mandujano is like, before she got injured, I really felt like she was like skyrocketing.
She was on the up. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, and she'll get back there. You battle injuries. I mean, I think the same thing with Paige with her leg, her ankle. Remember when overseas and she fractured her leg or something like that? And I saw her interview, and she said, there's some shots that she can feel the pain, that she can still tolerate it, but it's there.
Yeah.
So who knows if it'll hold up over the course of a long weekend, because this is a plus event, so it's 4 rounds.
It's a 4-day tournament.
Right. So, yeah, you never know. And everybody's coming back off the off season. Hopefully they got their rest and healed and recouped. And
yeah, sure, yeah. I'm very interested to see how the season goes. I'm a little I do spend a little bit of – I definitely watch the MPO coverage and the FPO coverage. It depends. But I will be watching it. Depends on if the people that are on the FPO coverage are interesting for me to watch, then I will watch it.
Yeah, I can go with that.
If you're picking up what I'm putting down, it is what it is. All right. So we talked about Anthony Barella's 1,100 plus rated round earlier. How do you feel about ratings? Like, I know that we're gonna have this conversation like every year, and we're gonna have this conversation like multiple times a year, but
Right.
the man shot one of the top 5. He's in the top 5 rated rounds ever.
Mm-hmm.
And they made a big deal about it. Like, everybody made a big deal about it. Even the people who say ratings don't matter made a big deal about it. So how do we feel about ratings? Like, what is it? Like, people say they don't matter. Some people say they do. In order to get sponsored, you got to have a certain rating. In order to go to the qualifying event for MCO or any other event.
Well, yeah, they have all that tiered system now.
Yeah.
To get registered.
So,
I mean, I guess it depends on what you want to do. What's your ultimate goal? It's
Right.
like, do ratings matter to me? They used to.
right.
I mean, not so much now. I mean, do I want to go out and shoot a high-rated round? Of course. Who doesn't,
Right.
But, I mean, I think I'm to the point in my playing capacity where I'm like, because, like, I have not moved 1 point in either direction for the last 4 updates. So you want to talk about plateau.
Yeah.
That's plateau.
It's not up or down. I mean,
Right.
it's not down.
Right. So it's like, well, it could be down here after last weekend.
I didn't watch you. I
The
should
next
have looked.
But yeah, I don't know. It really depends. You got your up and comers that obviously they want to get. They're all the ultimate goals. Oh, I need to be 1,000 rated. But you know what? To me, anybody can go out and be 1,000 rated player any given day.
Sure. Yeah.
Especially if you're playing a local event
Right.
or of course you're familiar with or whatever. But you still got to put in the work, even if you're 960 rated.
Right.
To get out there, and you just still got to play and
Sure.
hope for the best. And then obviously, locally, speaking locally,
Yeah.
it's hard to get 1,000 rated around because you don't have those.
We don't have 1,000 rated
players that are propagators.
Right.
So it's really tough. You really got to get out there and have a separation of scores in order to. And even if it is 1,000 rated, it's like 10:02,
Just
10:04.
Yeah. I've noticed that because we don't have the field of player, and I don't think that we don't have the quality of player because I do think we have a couple guys who, if they put some things together, could be much higher rated. But because our field and because our courses, not necessarily Tullahoma, but because the course, it's just something. This little section of Middle Tennessee, the 1,000 rated players don't play right now. And so when they show up to tournaments, that's when those tournaments kind of fill up because they're like, okay, now we have someone to propagate against, kind of thing. So in order for us to get 1,000 rated rounds, we got to win. We got to win our division and the whole tournament by multiple strokes.
By a big margin, yeah.
Right.
For sure.
So, but I do like, I've thought about this before. I do like that there are qualifying events now where, like, just specifically, the MCO has a qualifying event where if you're 935,
the Monday qualifier, yeah.
Right. You're 935, you can go play. And if you place in the top 2, you can get in the MCO.
Right.
And I think what that does is kind of helps overlooked players who are only able to play in their like local pools or only able to get into tournaments where they're the highest rated player and they're 961.
Right. But
So,
you gotta figure something like that. You're drawing from Kentucky and Arkansas and Alabama, Georgia. I mean, you're not just drawing Middle Tennessee players at that point.
Unfortunately, so I looked in this because I thought I might play. I thought I might go play because just to see, just to enjoy it, kind of thing. And it's not a rated round, and so in my head, it's like I'm paying $50. I don't get any. There's no payout. I don't get anything from this, except for the opportunity to play with the Pro Tour people.
But you also get the chance to play the course,
right?
That you're not going to
nice.
always have. And then that's what they used to do at years ago, USDGC.
Yeah,
the Monday qualifier. Now they've limited it to like 75 people to register. The first 75 you get to do it. But before it was a free for all.
Sure. Yeah.
You get out there, you pay your $50, and people just go pay the $50 just to play the course.
Play the course, right? Yeah.
To say they've played it in that layout.
I'll give you that. In order to go play the Mill Ridge layout, you have to be a part of this event, or you can't play it. And so, I've been considering whether or not I want to go play. There's ups and downs. I would like if it was a rated round, just so I can be like to see what my rating would be up against these guys who are pretty good, kind of thing. just
you'll know your score.
Right,
you
right,
can compare that.
But that's the big plus is that you get to play Mill Ridge kind of thing. The other thing is about rating that I thought about before is like these Pro Tour dudes are playing in like a bubble, man. Like because they can all shoot super close together, and like I'm gonna look at the Waco event right now and see how many of these dudes. See if it'll let me see the scores. See how many of these dudes. Well, that's the wrong section. There's only one dude in that section. So all the way, man, you're talking. Wow, I'm scrolling all the way down here to see where the last 1,000 rated round is.
Oh, it's probably gonna be around even.
3 down.
Brodie
Smith is the last 1,000 rated round of the day out there at Waco, and that's top 81.
Wow.
The top 81 players shot 1,000 rated rounds plus, right? Listen, there are only 81. There are only 110 players. So 3/4 of the field shot over 1,000.
But how much of the field is rated 1,000?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And so the tour has this bubble that keeps people over 1,000 rated.
Oh yeah.
Once you get in, you if you want to stay over 1,000 rated, you can only play in the tour because that's the 1,000 rated bubble.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I mean, like 3 over was the bottom score.
What was even?
Even was 978. So
see, that's about what I shoot.
Well, I mean, they, like I'm just saying, if you get a couple birdies, like, and you just hang around, you're gonna get 1,000 rated round.
Right.
And the courses are hard. Don't get me wrong. You gotta be able to play to get.
Yeah, but some of those
courses.
par fours I think are birdieable. Just
right.
For I wouldn't say the average person, but for a decent skilled person.
Sure. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, there's this. I like ratings. Don't get me wrong, but once you get on the tour bubble keeps you over 1,000, provided you just play okay. You don't have to play good.
I can see that. I can see what you're saying there. Yeah.
Yeah. So
for sure.
Anyway, so that's why some people had some interesting things to say about AB's 1,100 rated because that wasn't part of the tour, and he did win. He beat like he didn't win actually.
No,
who
did win that?
Gannon Burr.
Oh, that's right.
I think he's a 2-time Memorial champion now. But that day he shot so much better than everybody else, and the guy at the bottom shot so much worse. And all of them are propagators because it's an A tier.
Mm-hmm.
And so because he stepped out of the bubble, you can get a higher rating. You can also get a lower rating, don't get me wrong, but because he stepped out of the bubble, he was able to push that rating a little bit more and cause the separation to happen a little bit, stretched a little more. So I like ratings, but there are some limitations to it. I think the more I think about it, I can't think of another system right now. There may be another one that comes up later, and that's better.
We'll figure out a way to complain about that too.
Yeah, well, you're right about that. You're right about that.
Somebody will.
Yeah. So just look. I like ratings. I like that they can get you into the big tournaments, and I like that. Just keep the qualifiers coming. I'll stop complaining. You know what I'm saying? As long as you give an opportunity for other people to maybe get in, I'm cool.
Yeah. Maybe I'll do the qualifier for Maple Hill.
They're doing Q Series events now. Did you hear about this?
No, that'd be cool.
So the Q Series is like,
but I'm old though, so
you can.
That might be bad.
You would definitely do well. But the Q Series is like essentially it's like a 6 to 8 tournament tour. I can't remember right now. We talked about it last time, but and essentially the winner of each tournament and like the top percentage of each tournament get invited to the finale, which is down in the Southeast. Once you get invited to the finale, they get invited to the finale, but also if they win their event, now I remember. They win their event, they get a tour card. Like they're eligible for a tour card. Okay. They also get invited to the finale. The finale, a certain percentage, a certain amount of people get a tour card, but if somebody had already qualified for a tour card, then it goes down to the next person, kind of thing.
So kind of like a USDGC invite.
Basically, yeah. And so you can use these events to qualify for a tour card or for a Silver Series tour card. So they're providing a path for people who like us who don't have necessarily the fields to consistently have 1,000 rated rounds.
Right.
To get into the tour to boost yourself into that spot. But I got too much stuff going on to actually worry about all that, my family and all that stuff. But I'm going to try to play a few series just for fun.
I'm probably beyond all that.
Yeah. You're old.
Let's be real.
No, you could definitely do it. I think you could hop on the like Masters tour.
See, that would be something more up my alley if it was feasible, but it's really not, for me.
Why not?
Because I have a job.
You're right. You would have
bills and
you literally have to just like do it, and then,
right,
like
take the chance and hey Jen, we're selling everything. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
That's not happening.
I like my life too much, and that's just that's just truth.
But I will get to play a Masters event because the
heck yeah,
the A-tier side of the Music City Open.
You're gonna play?
And it's part of the Masters tour. So
heck yeah, dude.
I'll get some points. I think I think you only have to. Last year you only had to play one event. And you qualified for the finale.
Oh heck yeah!
So maybe that could be in the future.
You got any plans to try and do like Masters Worlds? Just
not this year.
Okay.
I started my new job, so my vacation doesn't line up. In the summertime, basically, I don't think I'm taking vacation until September.
Oh, okay.
So no, not this year. And plus, it's in Emporia, which that would have been feasible.
Right, sure. It's pretty close.
The last one I played was the one in Illinois.
Okay.
But we skipped out the Arizona one last year. That was just way out of budget for us,
Sure, yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe one day. I'll probably wait until I jump into the 50s.
Well, hopefully by the time I'm able to play 40s that I'm like that I feel confident and good enough to mess around and try and go. But we'll see.
It's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, any type of, even if you go to Am Worlds or whatever, any type of Worlds, it's a lot. Most players are going for the experience.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
That handful that are like actually have a chance to like winning this big field. Obviously everybody has a chance. If I
mess around and go to some of these bigger events that I'm playing, because I'm playing some bigger events in MPO this year just for the experience.
Yeah.
If I mess around and go and do well enough to where I get enough points where I somehow get an invite, we'll see what happens. But I don't really have any plans for a while. I
don't even know where. Did they come out with 2025's location?
They do have it,
within
but I don't know
like our traveling distance.
I can look it up.
No, Pro Worlds is going to Europe next year.
Next year, okay.
Yes, and that's what your points are going for this year.
So yeah, I'm not going next year. But I said, I'm not messing with that. But that's fun.
I wonder how that'll go too, because
the field will be different for sure.
Yeah, I think you're only going to get those high profile players
and Europeans.
Yeah, European, obviously. Yeah, but, yeah.
Well, at some point, I'll try to make a push and make something happen. But I'm really enjoying. I had a little bit of burnout, as like Brodie Smith was talking about, but I'm really enjoying kind of running around and playing MPO events. And I enjoyed playing that tournament in Tullahoma that I put on. It wasn't that big of a that George and I did. It was like 40 people in the field, but getting to play with you and Chase Van Berkeley was definitely fun. It was it was you, me, Chase Van Berkeley, and Austin Reed. So, like getting to see the widespread of personalities on one card and like the different play style was definitely fun.
Yeah,
I had my buddy Charlie, who's one of the co-owners here, was caddied for me the second round. And he was like, "This is incredible to watch," and I was like, "And we're just local dudes playing MPO kind of thing. We would feel the same way if we were caddying for." The big dogs were like, this is incredible, Yeah. So, anyway, we talked about who's trending up, who's trending down a little bit earlier. We talked about Anthony Barella. If you were going to pick 2 or 3 players who you think might win Waco, and you know how the first round went, but it usually never ends up being the person who's leading the first round. So
no, I mean, I think Barella's hot.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's got a good shot. You can't count out, the guys that even won it before, like Klein. I don't think he fell off too much.
No, he didn't.
Heck, there's 3 more rounds.
So much disc golf.
2 of them on a old ball golf course, so it's going to be a lot.
Yeah, if I'm with you. If Anthony Barella can keep it together and can hang in there, and then get to the ball golf course, the dude. Can
they're playing that tomorrow.
I'm saying because they're going back and forth, so that means it'll end on the ball golf course. If he can go in there like anywhere close, I'm with you.
And Gannon's coming off the Memorial win, and it's like you got a lot of young guns, up and comers, and the ones that have been around for a while. So
all right, I'm just gonna spoil it because this leaderboard is crazy.
You're the guy.
I'm the guy. You can't spoil live sports. So there are so many old heads in the top 10 or close to the top 10, and when I say old heads, they're just like dudes who have been around for a minute. Obviously, Greg Barsby's leading it. James Conrad, to me, he's like semi-old head where he's like been around for a minute. Nate Sexton is up there.
Yeah.
Garrett Gerthy, he's not old, but he's just like
he's been around the game for a long time.
Yeah. Nico LaCastro, Kel LaVisca. I mean, there's all of these dudes hanging around there at the Beast, so that's pretty cool. I'm excited. I'm just excited to see how it shakes out. But I'm looking at Luke. Speaking of how it shakes out, Luke Humphreys is up in there.
Man, he had such a great round too, and
did he?
To a hole 18.
Oh no!
Yes, and I think that one got Matty O too.
It did. Matty O went from like 10th to 89th.
Yeah. I mean, we're not spoiling it because by the time you watch this podcast, if you haven't seen the scores already,
well, then we're catching them up.
Yeah, we're catching you up.
That's
right
what
now.
it is. Yeah. But yeah, so that's pretty. I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited to see how this thing goes because the board is. I mean, it's really all over the place. But there is something cool. Joey Buckets again is in the top 10. Joseph Anderson. That dude was leading the chess.com.
He was at the top of the leaderboard early today too.
Was he?
Yeah.
He podium finished or got really no.
I didn't know.
He fell off on the last day, but
explain the buckets thing.
He wears bucket hats.
Oh.
So they call him Joey Buckets.
Okay.
But dude's Castoplast player, very smooth. And he's again like relevant in the conversation. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then FPO, you got your top three: Owen Scoggins, Ella Hansen, Kristen Tatar. Those ladies are all within a stroke. Holland Hanley, Jessica Weiss, Madison Walker, Missy Gannon. There's really no surprises up at the top. Allie Smith. Haley King's back, so that's cool. She got injured at the chess.com or she wasn't feeling well.
Right.
All that being said, the top 10, like the MPO, very cool. Like very varied. Just a bunch of different names, different styles, different ages kind of thing. Looks like the Beast kind of did its thing.
Yeah.
And then the lady side, it's always the same names.
But then you don't know how tomorrow's round's going to be.
Yeah.
Because
this is the first time they're doing this.
And
right?
then they have to go back to the Beast.
Yeah.
And so it's like, is that going to shake up again? And
yeah.
so like come Sunday, it's going to be.
I think the guys will definitely be shaken up. I don't think the FPO side will get shaken up too much because, there's the top like however 10, 12 ladies, and then there's the rest. For me, you don't really see any like new breakout players or as often in the FPO field. Allie Smith was one last year, and she won an event kind of thing. But anyway, so maybe
I got a shout out to my friend Nina Guerrero.
Is she out there?
She's out there.
How close is she?
Well, depending on which side you're looking at.
Oh yeah.
She's out there giving it a shot this year, and
for sure.
So she's stepping out doing the pro tour, and I don't know if she had a great round today, but it's good experience for her for sure to get up there and face tougher competition in the FPO field.
Yeah, she's hanging there.
But she's doing the Texas swing for sure, and I think she's coming home for a little bit. And she's from Bowling Green. I say coming home, but
right.
I'm really good. We're good friends with her and Chuck.
Yeah.
But yeah. So she'll be doing that for I don't know a couple of weeks. I think she said she's coming home the end of this month.
I saw that. Yeah, we're rooting for her.
Yeah, for sure. Just get out there and enjoy it, learn something.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. When you've got friends or like locals who give it a shot, you can watch them.
Yeah, but she got her card, her tour card.
Heck yeah!
So that's a step in the right direction. So good luck, Nina. Get out there and do it.
Let's go. All right, a couple more things, and then we'll jump into our local scene section. There's a new. We talked about disc golf video games last time we were on here, so I'm not gonna go too crazy in it because I know you're not a video game guy. But there's a new
I'm old.
new disc golf video game called Perfect Round Disc Golf. I'm gonna be trying it out for sure, and maybe putting it on our channel. Like what?
Okay.
I might mess around and record some and see
What
and
platform
show what it
is
looks
that
like.
on?
It's on Steam, so it's PC.
Okay.
But it looks like there's up to 8. You can play with up to 8 different players, so there's a multiplayer aspect where.
Hold on, it's on the PC.
Yeah.
So how does that work? You just use your mouse and click it and drag?
No. So it's like so.
But you remember we talked about that, and I was like, I like the Wii version
Right.
or whatever because you're out there actually making motions.
So I don't think there's any motions, and it's probably video game. It's probably video. What am I trying to say? It's probably controller.
Just go ahead.
Yeah, it's probably not
flick
a
your
flick.
finger.
Did you ever play like Hot Shots Golf or like Tiger Woods PGA Tour golf games or whatever?
On like the PlayStation.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's probably exactly the same, or somewhere along those lines. From what I was watching the videos, that's what it looked like to me. And you have a controller, so like an Xbox controller that you hook into your PC or whatever, or you can use mouse and keyboard. But I'm just gonna try it out. I'll record some of it, so maybe you can, if you're watching now and you want to see what it looks like, I'll record some and put it on our YouTube page. I'll be trying it out.
I mean, you could get to be 1,000 rated.
That would be that would be my chance for sure. That'd be my chance. But yeah, that sounds fun. Be looking out because I'm definitely going to give it a shot. And there's a new disc golf. Somebody else is now what's the word? The focus of a disc golf issue that has been around for as long as live disc golf has been being played. And it's the 30-second take too long to putt rule thing, whatever. Jacob Cupcake Curtis is
Curtis, yeah.
Is this year's culprit for taking too long to putt. This dude, I don't know if you saw on Terry Miller's.
I know Cupcake.
Do you?
I've known Cupcake since he was a little Cupcake.
Okay.
And his family's great. I don't remember him as well when he played as a junior.
Yeah.
Because he played with my oldest boy. And,
sure.
But I don't remember that being an issue then. But
yeah,
things change over time.
Sure.
But
Terry Miller.
He had the same. I don't even want to call it an issue, but I guess the same habit last year.
Uh-huh.
It just wasn't so mainstream because he played the West Coast stuff where he's from. He's from California. So he played the West Coast stuff mainly, and so it wasn't like on coverage.
Sure.
I don't remember what is that, Goat Hill tournament or something. So he won that one.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's where people started seeing, man, he's taking excessive time.
Yeah.
That's not all his fault.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, his card needs to call him.
Sure,
if that's the case.
Yeah.
What I do like to see is, I mean, okay, yeah, he's taking 45 seconds, but he's jamming the putt.
Right.
It'd be different if he's taking 45 seconds and airballing
and missing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
I think Terry Miller timed him at like almost 50 seconds.
I saw that clip.
For me, I'm never in a round where somebody takes a long time to putt. If I notice it, that means they're taking a long time to putt.
Yeah.
So like, if you're taking 40 seconds to putt, I probably am not even noticing it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
If you're taking that more than 30 seconds, if you're taking a minute, I'm probably noticing that.
Right.
But have you ever had to call anyone on that?
No, I don't think I have.
So okay.
No, it's not. I mean, it's one of those rules that those guys should call each other because
if it's bothering them.
Well, it's not even that.
Yeah.
Those guys, you are what is being presented to the world.
Sure, yeah.
On this live coverage, and it hasn't, caught the attention of major sponsors yet.
Yeah.
Get on the networks or whatever. One day it will, but it's like, yeah, I mean, if that's the rule, then they need to enforce it on their card.
Sure.
Is it something, I've never done it personally.
Yeah.
Heck, I've probably barely called more than 5 foot faults over the time I've ever played.
They got to be egregious for me to call because I'm never staring at their feet.
Yeah, I'm kind of watching where the frisbee goes, but
right.
I mean, if it was super excessive, yeah, and if I noticed it, then might say something, hey.
From what I understand, someone said, no one called him on it, but someone said something to him like, "Hey, you're taking a long time to putt, and if that keeps up, then we will have to call it." And I think it affected his putt later, kind of thing. Someone asked him about it. He talked about how he doesn't even realize he's doing it. He's kind of has the yips, and he's just holding the putt like when he's ready to putt, that's when he putts, kind of thing. There have been guys who have done this in the past. Gannon Buhr did it in the past. I think Gannon Buhr still takes longer than 30 seconds sometimes, but his routine doesn't take a minute and a half.
Right.
And so he's sped up his routine a little bit. And I think it's helped him in a lot of ways. I think it's made him more marketable as far as like the companies are like, okay, nobody's looking at him and going, he's taking forever.
Right.
He's just hitting these long putts kind of thing. I think it's made him more likable to the people watching because they're not staring at him, using that chalk bag.
Yeah, the chalk bag.
And so I think that it can only do good for a player to reduce that routine. I think as far as like, as long as they're hitting the putts.
Right.
As far as the public perception of them, I think it can only do good for them. And it kind of keeps this whole thing from blowing up where everybody's talking about it, right? Cupcake doesn't want people talking about him because he's taking forever to putt. He wants people talking about him because he won a tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because he played well. Because he's a good putter,
Yeah, right.
And I mean, and who knows if I'm sure it's going to be something he's going to work out.
Yeah.
At some point. I mean, and like I said, it's going to take the card to call him a few times.
Sure. And
throughout the year, if that's the case, Or what I did hear, I thought I heard something about maybe, and this might just be a majors where the PDGA is having like an official go with every card.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's going to get to that to where they, and I think they were even talking about the entire card can get penalized for excessive time. So if you have that person on your card and it's like, now you're affecting me.
For sure.
Now it's like, okay, I'm going to have to start enforcing that rule.
Yeah. There is that rule where if it becomes a problem, then you will get you're supposed to get a tournament official to be there.
And I think too, like I thought I heard, I don't know who was it, Gossage, that said something about like, I probably should have called him, but I didn't because of the position that we were in,
right?
And I'm like,
that's the one. Gossage said that he pulled him aside and talked to him. I think that's the move. I think that's definitely the move. It's like, hey, we're not only are you taking forever and it's like affecting us, we're also on coverage kind of thing. So I'm gonna have to call you. And I think too, like Gannon Buhr, before he was on coverage, before he was Gannon Buhr, right? He was playing disc golf before we all saw him, right? And so before he was on a camera, it probably wasn't that much of an issue, right? People probably thought about it, but nobody's calling him on it. And if they were, we didn't see it. Now he's on camera, and he's taking a minute to putt. If you want people to watch disc golf, that can't be the thing. Yeah, I'm not a person who hates Nico. There's a lot of Nico haters out there, but I won't watch him on live coverage because it just takes so long.
What I wonder what the rule is in like ball golf, because you watch that, and I'm like, I know these guys are taking more than 30 seconds. They're breaking out their books and they're like, oh yeah, 27 yards in from the right pin,
right.
And I'm like, okay, they're obviously having like 2-minute long discussions.
Sure.
So I don't know what their specific rule is, if what's considered excessive time for them.
Sure.
But
that's a good question. I think that ultimately, I don't think that the PDGA wants to say 30 seconds is way too long, but I just think that as far as the product goes, it just looks bad. Long, like when it takes 8 hours to play disc golf. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's really, I don't think it's about like, hey, you're messing everybody up. It just looks, if you're trying to sell this product, at the end of the day, if you want it on ESPN, it looks bad if you're taking a minute to throw a frisbee, I think.
Yeah. And I think what Terry Miller said, he edited like 5 minutes out of Jacob's putts.
Yeah, I did hear that.
Just to
thank you, Terry
condense
Miller. Makes it watchable. All right. we'll wrap up on the national scene. We'll talk about more next time. But let's talk about the local scene real quick. Go ahead.
I want to give a shout out to George on that last podcast. I watched it. He did really well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I mean, that's to keep the local scene. He had that flashy shirt on.
He did have the flash. He had the NADGT shirt on.
Yeah, and it gave me an idea. I was like, well, George can't be the only one to have a flashy shirt.
Are you wearing a flashy shirt right now?
Man. Yeah. I am. Here it is.
Oh my gosh!
Can the camera see it?
Wow.
Oh,
this.
Who's this guy? That frisbee going long.
That's hilarious. I got to get some merch. That's hilarious.
So, thank you, Samantha Brown, for producing this shirt for me. Man, I've been waiting all this whole dang podcast to get out of this sweatshirt. But it's like 1,000 degrees in this shop.
Oh, that is impressive. Wow,
man. You see it?
That is so good.
If you haven't seen this video, you make sure you go check
out.
It will never go away. It'll never get old.
I have to make something else so that it can so that one can be the old song. Man, that is hilarious. I did not know this.
You're welcome.
If you're listening just audio, at some point find the YouTube video at like an hour in and look at this shirt that Jeff is wearing. It's incredible.
And I've been holding this shirt for a week. It was supposed to debut last week.
Yeah.
Samantha messaged me. She goes, Michael's been looking for the podcast. I said, man, we didn't record it.
Yeah.
You know, and she said, no, you know, everybody's looking for it.
I cannot believe it. I don't even, wow. I am speechless a little bit. I can't really be speechless on a podcast, but I am. It's impressive.
Yeah.
Shout out to Samantha Brown too. Thank you for that.
Awesome.
Oh my gosh, it's full color and everything.
Yeah,
man.
it's great.
It's incredible. You can see right up my nose.
Jen and I were like slow-moing the video, trying to screenshot like the best facial expression we could put on a shirt.
That is incredible. I feel like that's such a good spot to stop. But we'll do this last section. But man, we don't have very much left. The local scene. Talk about the Tullahoma. We're going to talk about the Tullahoma and Shelbyville top 5 ratings. Shelbyville's didn't change at all. It's Seth Drain, Philip Gant, Jake Bolden, Michael Wolf, and Justin Merlot. I think it's going to get shaken up a little bit on Tuesday, but that's just kind of how it is. That's where we are in Shelbyville right now. I'm trying to become number 1 though, Seth. I'm coming for you.
How close are you?
I think we're like 1 point apart.
Oh man,
or maybe 2. Let's look.
That could be like 2 putts.
I know we're 1 or 2 points apart, and I beat him last time we played against each other, and I had a good round at my tournament last week. So maybe I'll get him this week, or maybe we'll tie. All right, and Tullahoma. I feel like Tullahoma's changed a lot. Let's look at Tullahoma. Tullahoma top 5 ratings. Jeff Castellina, that was the same as last time.
Yeah,
Chase
I haven't
Farler
changed.
That was the same as last time.
He'll be on the up and up.
Chase?
Yes.
Spencer Brown,
he'll be on the up and up too.
I think that hasn't changed since last time. And then Matt Barnes and Ian Burns. I think those two have. I think Matt Barnes probably renewed since last time, and that put him back where he was supposed to be. And Ian Burns, I think that same thing happened. So I think he renewed and put him back in there. So you guys got a couple more people added in. Mm-hmm. Ian, he played in the tournament. Matt played in the tournament last week. I think everybody got. Anyway, Ian Burns, he definitely. I like that guy. I don't know if you get a chance to play with him very much.
I have not played with him. I've talked to him.
Yeah, nice dude.
Yeah.
And he throws really far, apparently.
Yes, super far.
There you go. Tullahoma. Also, something else has changed a lot. Let's talk about the course cleanup a little bit, Jeff, and what's that looks like, and what's the process, and what's your thought process on what to do.
We have had 2 work days. We're getting ready for the Red Rock Open, March 30th. It's a C tier. The first one of the year, and the first one that I guess this club has probably ran. I mean, I know since it's actually become a live club again. But, yeah. So we've had 2 work days, and we have probably removed a lot of trees. I know we've probably removed like 12 from one hole. And I mean, not all mature trees either. I'm talking,
sure,
the overgrown stuff as well. So we've cleaned up a lot. And we've, as a board, we've probably have ruffled some feathers in the cleanup, but we knew that was going to happen.
Yeah,
coming in anyhow.
Sure.
I will shout out to Jennifer because she goes out every day.
I've seen her out there
every day,
just randomly.
She'll be out there for 7:30 in the morning until I usually get off work 2:30ish.
Yeah,
and I'll message her, and she won't respond right away. So I'm like, okay, she's at the course.
I saw her out there building a dam the other day, playing in the mud.
She's trying to fix that erosion problem behind hole 1.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she's been busting her butt out there every day.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know if she's doing it. One, kind of stay busy and give her something to do, but she enjoys doing it.
Yeah.
But everybody has to realize she's not doing this for her benefit in the tournament because she's not even playing in the tournament.
Yeah.
She's doing this to help the club and help grow it in our area because nobody wanted to play this course. Plus the city, wants events.
Yeah, right.
And that was the thing I told the city. I said, well, you're going to have to kind of untie our hands.
Yeah.
And let us get this course in shape.
Mm-hmm. Man.
But yeah, so she's,
The locals.
Thank you for doing all this work,
yes,
Jen.
thank you, Jen. I appreciated it. I went out the other day, and I did not shoot well, but I enjoyed the course still.
Yeah. And now there's 3 female players signed up for the Red Rock, which is
awesome.
Pretty awesome. So.
And there are dude, every time I've gone out there recently, and there have been people that I've never seen before.
Oh yeah,
just random
all the
families.
time now.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool. I don't know if that's a test. That's a testament to how nice the course looks. It's a testament to how much disc golf has grown.
Yeah.
And so.
But yeah, we'll have another work day this coming up Sunday.
Yeah.
I know it interferes with a lot of people's Sunday schedules, but that's fine. Excuse me. But there's a tournament down in Winchester Saturday, which we originally had it planned for Saturday, and I didn't want to compete with that.
Yeah.
So I just pushed it back to Sunday.
Yeah.
But I think right now we got about 2 holes that are going to need the rest of the work, and then a lot of that's just cleanup after that.
Yeah.
Getting all the undergrowth cleaned up, and the city has been wonderful. Every time we've made a big brush pile out there in the front, and I've just emailed the city parks director and I said, okay, you can contact Public Works now, and we'll have more next weekend.
Yeah.
They come and get it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it's awesome. Loving the fact that we got a good relationship with the city officials, and we're gonna keep going. That new 9 will be coming up shortly. Man,
I like the new 9. I don't love the new 9. There's some gems back there, but it's not cohesive right now with the way it is.
No, and it'll need some TLC for sure.
Yeah. Hole 19 needs help. Hole 20 is almost good. 21, that question mark.
Yeah.
I don't know what the heck that is. 22 is fine.
I mean, I've heard 21 was put in the wrong spot. not the spot where it was originally planned. Okay. So maybe that's the case.
23 is almost a cool shot. A little bit too much in the way.
Yeah, there's a lot in the way of that one.
Yeah. 24 could be an amazing shot. It's just
that one just needs cleaned up.
It needs cleaned up. Yeah. It could be a really cool par 4, but it needs a real fairway.
Mm-hmm.
And then same thing on 20. Is it 26 is the par 4?
Yeah, the long one where you throw,
I like that one.
350 into the gap and then hit a wall of trees.
Right. So 26 is the one I'm talking about. 25 is fine actually. That's a good hole.
That's a cool hole.
And then 27, that hole, I don't like that hole right now, but it's
trimmed.
almost. Is it trimmed?
It needs to be trimmed.
It needs to be trimmed. Yeah, it's almost there. But anyway, you should say. Oh yeah. Also, Jen, Last time you might need that Mando on hole 9. That's all I'm saying. Last time I was out there, she was building a dam, and I was like, check this out. There's an open line over here. There really wasn't. I saw a very tiny gap.
Oh yeah, I heard about you taking that. She told me about that.
I hit it clean.
I said you couldn't do it twice in a row.
I couldn't. But I just did it to do it. All right. Shelbyville, only thing we got updated right now is the new baskets are in. We're working on getting the signs for the sponsors. The new baskets catch super well. I went out there today and shot 12 under.
Dang.
Felt good. And then, that's how Shelbyville goes, though. Like, it's like if you throw your shots, you should.
All the baskets are in, though?
All the baskets are in, and even the sleeve for the extra practice baskets. So now we're having 2 practice baskets. The city is, we showed them our plans for our 9 holes, like the new 9 holes going on the like advanced pro level type holes. Mm-hmm. And they were like, why don't you make them longer? Which we already had them long. So we're going to go back there again and kind of show them kind of what we're thinking. But they want some, I don't know what, they definitely want some longer holes. So that's cool.
Yeah.
We won't be able to call, once those 9 go in, no one will be able to call Shelbyville like pitch and putt like entirely. Like the original course, yes.
Is there enough room to make like 18 holes back there?
There is currently, but they have plans for like soccer fields and baseball fields and stuff. And so our idea, we want to put a disc golf course that won't be able to, that they won't have to feel like they have to pull up
right
as they build stuff. So there's some interesting stuff back there. There's definitely going to be like 3 or 4 par 4s, some golf type par 4s, like where if you have pro level distance and you can throw 500 through a gap perfectly, then you might be able to get an eagle. But other than that, it's not out there. So there are a couple of those. And then we have the Urban Eagle, which is set up at the Shelbyville Central High School on the 23rd, and that's to raise money for the tennis team. If you're not signed up for that, go ahead and get signed up for that. It's a really cool event, and you get to like throw disc on the football field in the bleachers. So it's unique in that way.
Think you can slow the wind down,
dude? I don't know why. Every year it's cranked up to 11 every year.
I think I'm gonna play in that one though.
Heck yeah,
it's fun.
So there's that, and then we had to change some things up a little bit because the soccer team is playing, and one of the holes throws over the soccer field, and one of the holes, and the baseball has a JV team playing, so we're not going to go back behind the baseball field. But we got some cool little things that we're going to do, and across the street on the middle school property. But there you go. Last thing, disc slots with Philip. I want to say a couple things. I'm going to start doing this at the end or in different episodes, but basically someone brought it to my attention that you might go to a tournament and you're an M player and you finish and you get payout, or you get a player's pack and it's a voucher, and you only throw Innova, and you have lost your Firebird, or you have lost your Destroyer, but turns out the voucher or the payout people don't have a Firebird. So you're up a creek. But you want to replace your Firebird with something. So here are some options. We're going to do different disc every time, but this one's going to be Firebird. So your Firebird equivalent disc, obviously your Firebird. If you're going to go MVP, you're going to be looking at Fireball or Motion. If you're going to go Trilogy, what are you looking at in Trilogy?
Felon, Pioneer. That's a good one.
Yeah.
What is that other one? Pioneer's Latitude. What's the West Side equivalent? Oh, the Ati.
Yes, the Ati.
Yes.
So there you go. And if you're looking at like maybe even some like random offshoot brands, so if you're looking at Thought Space Athletics, you're looking at the Omen, which is Thought Space Athletics is made by MVP. So there you go. If they have Infinite and you're an Infinite disc thrower, or you're an Innova disc thrower, and you're like, man, they have Infinite, which is molded by Innova. What am I looking for? Well, I'm pretty sure I can think of it, but I'm just going to pull it up right here on my phone.
An Infinite?
Infinite.
I'm not sure.
It's I know Calvin throws. That's Millennium. Never mind. I will edit this part out.
I'm going to tell you what, if you go to dynamicdisc.com, they have a disc comparison.
Yeah?
Yeah. To where you can like type in Firebird, and it'll show the whole lineup of Trilogy, what would be comparable to a Firebird. You can go to Destroyer, do the same thing. Any like non-Trilogy mold, you can just punch it in, and it'll show the comparison of what Trilogy molds. And then it'll even go like, this one's slower, this one's faster, this one's got more glide, like the up and down steps.
Okay.
So yeah, check that out too.
Yeah, I always look at this. This is where I'm pulling it up from Marshall Street Flight Guide. If you're ever looking, that's a good thing. That's a good place to go. But maybe you'll remember this, and also the tool on dynamic. But you're looking at a Draco. That's what I was thinking of earlier.
Oh yeah, that's Calvin's disc.
Calvin's he throws a Draco in that. You're looking at a Scepter. That's the Infinite disc. You're looking at a Raptor if you're looking at Discraft. A Splice if you're looking at Discmania. I already said Omen. And then, yeah, those are all the kind of things that people are going to have. And if you're looking at Lone Star disc, because those have been popping up, Chupacabra. So there you go. Those are your 9-speed overstable fairway drivers. Boom. Think about it next time if you need something like that. Anyway, all right, we'll see you guys. Thank you for joining us for this episode. I believe it's episode 8, but I could be wrong. Thank you for joining us.
Ask me which pin we're gonna play. Whichever one as long as what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna throw the frisbee, turn around and wait. All the other competitions going down today. Ask me which pin we're gonna play. Whichever one as long as what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna throw the frisbee, turn around and say. All the other competitions going down today.